Welcome to Gooseberry Science and Education videos. All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're mapping out the landscape of the AI ecosystem as it stands in 2026. And wow, things have shifted, right? We've gone way past just generating text to completely overhauling how developers, educators, and entire enterprises operate.
I'm your host, Dr. Eris, and joining me today to help break down the really complex stuff in this explainer is our channel mascot, Pip. Pip is a highly intelligent orange gooseberry, and honestly an absolute genius when it comes to math and data, so you'll be seeing a lot of Pip's handiwork as we go along.
Here's our agenda for today. We're looking at number 1, the GPT-5 era, 2, the math behind transformers, 3, data safety and guardrails, 4, enterprise versus business AI, and number 5, ethics in academia. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The GPT-5 era, multimodal mastery and scale. By early 2026, we saw ChatGPT hit a truly staggering 900 million weekly active users. It's basically become the default engine for knowledge work. 1 million. That is the token context window we're dealing with now. Just to put that massive number into perspective, 1 million tokens is roughly equal to processing about 3,000 pages of text all at once in a single prompt. It's literally like handing the model a giant stack of encyclopedias and asking a hyper-specific question that forces it to cross-reference the whole pile simultaneously. Pretty wild.
And as Pip's diagram shows us, GPT-5 is way beyond just reading text. We're talking true multimodal capabilities now. In just one unified workflow, you can feed it written instructions, upload a visual image like a broken website layout, and toss in some code snippets. It seamlessly analyzes and debugs all of it together, natively cross-referencing supporting documentation to give you a perfect, context-aware solution.
Moving on to Section 2, the math behind transformers, decoding the core mechanics. Foundation models process raw data in a very specific way, and Pip has mapped out the math perfectly for us here.
The absolute most crucial concept to grasp here is the embedding matrix. See, when you feed data into an AI, it obviously doesn't see words or images like we do. It sees discrete tokens. Pip likes to describe the embedding matrix as a massive, learnable mathematical grid. It takes those discrete input tokens and transforms them into continuous mathematical vectors. This is what actually captures the semantic relationships, allowing the AI to actually understand the connection between different pieces of data. So if we take Pip's math, we can break this core operation down into 3 pretty digestible steps. Step 1 is data preprocessing, which is where that tokenization and embedding generation happens. Step 2 is the real magic, the transformer core operation, where we apply the query, key, and value operators to figure out exactly what parts of the data the AI needs to focus its attention on. And then step 3 is data post-processing, where we apply that final linear layer to translate those mathematical vectors back into the text or images you eventually see on your screen.
All right, which brings us to Section 3, data safety and guardrails, navigating content policies. Pip has actually mapped out the safety policies for the major players here, so OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic. And you'll see there's pretty much universal agreement on the most severe categories. Things like violence and extremism, absolutely prohibited across the board. Copyright reproduction is either heavily restricted or totally banned. But I want you to notice that bottom row. Personally identifiable information, or PII, is universally prohibited by all of them. In fact, OpenAI's philosophy on this is incredibly explicit. They've stated, we want our AI to learn about the world, not about private individuals. This strict prohibition on doxing or profiling ties directly back to major compliance standards like GDPR in Europe. So if you try to ask the AI to analyze a private citizen's behavior, the guardrails are going to aggressively block that prompt. No way around it. Now let's talk corporate strategy. Section 4, enterprise versus business AI, choosing the right tier. A huge question lately is how companies actually deploy the stuff safely. You really don't want your employees falling into the shadow AI trap, where they're just using unsecure personal accounts for company data.
So it really comes down to comparing those business and enterprise tiers. Now, ChatGPT Business is totally fine for small teams. You get shared workspaces, basic admin controls, and crucially, your data isn't used for model training. But if you're in a regulated industry, you absolutely need ChatGPT Enterprise. That's the heavy hitter. It brings rigorous security like SOC 2 Type 2 certifications, granular access control, and unlimited access to the biggest models. It's basically the fortress you need for safe, large-scale deployment. And enterprises are more than willing to pay for these fortress-like tiers. Why? Because the documented productivity gains are just massive.
Look at these numbers. We're seeing a solid 14% efficiency gain in customer service. Consulting quality is getting a 25.1% boost. But the real jaw-dropper is that top metric, an incredible 55.8% speed up for developers using AI copilots to code. That is a total game changer.
Because of those specific gains, the return on investment is, quite frankly, staggering. We're looking at a calculated 13-to-1 ROI ratio. Think about that. A $300,000 investment in enterprise licenses can literally yield $4 million in saved time and output. But, and this is a massive but, research emphasizes this only works if you pair the tech with a proper workflow redesign. If you just hand out licenses and don't change how your teams fundamentally work, you are never going to see that 13x return.
And finally, let's look at the educational world. Section 5, Ethics and Academia, Protecting Educational Integrity.
Educational institutions know they can't just ban this technology outright. They have to adapt. The current institutional guidelines recommend implementing crystal-clear AI attribution standards, including adopting updated citation formats like APA or MLA. Universities are also actively creating cross-functional AI review panels to navigate this. And importantly, when it comes to deploying AI detection software, the strict guidance is to use these tools carefully. They should be used to support students and identify areas for learning rather than just acting as a police force.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a question to chew on. Whether you're a business leader, an educator, or a developer, are you adopting AI as an isolated tool, or are you redesigning your entire workflow around its capabilities? The real value, the absolute biggest leaps forward, come from structural thinking. The technology is already here. What happens next is entirely up to you.
While Pip and I have had an absolute blast breaking down this 2026 AI ecosystem for you today. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you liked the content.